Kick for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, I get it in, I get it in.
Yo, what's going on? Welcome to The Flex. It's not another episode of the OTT show with KG, which is what you lot would normally be getting right about now. We're doing something different because you know what? Sometimes you try and wait for the right time to do stuff and then, the moment's now we need to speak about stuff, man. And I want to use this platform to make sure I do that. Big up to the special guest, Pippa, inside today. We saying, Pips?
I'm good. How are you guys? I'm really good, you know.
Good, man. KG, what are you saying? Big smiles?
Yeah. I'm good. I'm happy to be here. It's good to see Pippa. We luckily we're not talking about football, so we're friends today.
No, we're friends. Don't do that.
Yeah.
No, KG hates Arsenal. Like he hates Arsenal.
It's mad, but I like you, Pippa. You're lovely.
There you go, man. But listen, like KG said there, this is not about football, and this is serious, man. With what's happened with Sarah Everard in the news, which is horrendous. You know what I'm saying? I, for one, have always wanted to use this platform. When I started it, I know it was everything away from Man United, but I also want to use this platform to talk about things that are important in society, and not just things that affect me, not just racism, not just I've got a little echo there. I don't know if someone wants to turn down their thing. Not just racism or things like that, but we need to get into things that really matter. And I think what women are going through right now and what women are going through on a daily basis is part of that. And I wanted to invite Pippa to come here and do this. And I'm going to do a series of these. There's one we need to do with the guys as well. We will need to have an open conversation about that. But I wanted to get Pippa on to just give your perspective, Pips, man, like with what's been going on. And let's just have this open conversation because I just think us as men have to do better. And I want to make sure that I'm doing my part and encouraging as many men that I know. Because you look at your YouTube analytics, I know that 95, 96% of people watching this will be men. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's our duty to speak up and help, man. But Pippa, how you been? And how you been kind of taking everything in, man?
You know, it's such a horrible thing to happen. You hear it happen so often as well, different age groups, both men, women, boys and girls. But then when you more time, the victims are innocent people just walking home. But then when you just hear of someone that lives in your city, not far from your age, just walking home, a young lady, unprovoked, gets attacked. And they say that she's done, all the right things, like talking on the phone to make sure, that I'm on my journey, walking along well-lit roads where there's CCTV, there's shops, wearing bright colours. And it's like you try to do everything right and you can still end up being a victim. And it's a horrible thing to see. There's been so many takes on it. There's a lot of people, like you said yourself, not blaming men, but it feels like there's a section of people that are just blaming men in general. Like this wild blanket statement's been put out. Like Davina McCall made a crazy statement. I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't seen it. What did she say? Sorry, I missed that one.
I'll post it on my story, but I should have posted it with my opinion because I don't want people to think that's my opinion as well.
Yeah.
But she said female abduction and murder is extremely rare. Okay. Yes, we should all be vigilant when out alone, but this level of fear mongering isn't healthy. And men's mental health is an issue as well. Calling all men out as dangerous is bad for our sons, brothers, and partners. I hear what she's trying to say, but that's a totally different. It's got nothing. It's why would you bring up men's mental health? Yes, we always talk about men's mental health and mental health in general, but why would you overshadow that with a huge incident that's happened? Why are you being a pick me, basically? Well, I don't understand the comment where she's trying to take the narrative.
Yeah, that's a bit random as well. And that's what I've been seeing on. What made me see it is I think Soph posted something about it, and then there's that hashtag about men or something.
Yeah, not all men.
Not all men or not all men.
Not all men. And I think it was a reaction to, I saw what she posted. She said that, this women feel this thing when going home all the time. Like they've had to there's little defensive mechanisms that people do to make sure they stay out of trouble, and that phone call thing is so big. But I saw the response. So I saw all these men responding. Yeah. And a lot of men took it kind of negatively, which I found strange. A lot of men were like, "Oh, why are you lot? It's not us." Is what that's the vibe that I got. Not all men. That's literally the vibe.
That's it. That's it.
Not all men don't take us all with this brush.
Yeah, because you shouldn't.
But how do you feel about just the response from us men?
At first, I didn't feel like there was one. And to be honest with you, I haven't really been on social media that much to be seeing the reactions. But what I have seen, I cannot remember who posted it, and I wish I could credit the man. It was from a performance. He looked like a comedy stand-up, but he wasn't doing comedy.
Oh wow, he was saying talk to your boys, isn't it? I see that one.
He was like,
he was brilliant.
Your boy, because it happens all the time. Certain men will say things in your friendship group, and I've even seen it growing. I've got loads of male friends, but I'm not the one that sits there and doesn't act like it hasn't been said. But it happens so many times. Like one person will say something that's a bit wayward, like that's a bit suspect, and it will get called out, you know. And like if you hear your boy saying something crazy, that's wild to do with, I don't know, punishing females or being aggressive or abusive or anything along those lines, and you just laugh it off. It's like, okay, then don't be surprised when you find out that he's been abducting girls for 3 years, and you're thinking, wow, my boy, I would never think that, but he said crazy things before, so it's not off the cards. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
hear you on that. I feel, and that for me, when I watched that clip as well, that sums it up perfectly, because I just think like with the whole like not all men thing, I tweeted it. I was like, it just stinks of like all lives matter. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, hold on a minute. I feel like if you know you're not abusing women, or you're not the one being racist, or then you know it doesn't apply to you. But I think what we're missing the argument here as men who are going down that route of all lives, sorry, not all lives, like not all men, because I think like I don't think that women are trying to say that all men are doing this. And if there are women out there doing that, then like you said, Pippa, like that's not the case. Of course they know that. But for me, the question is, are all men concerning themselves with trying to make women feel safe? Are all men concerning themselves with trying to listen, to trying to eradicate this, to trying to, within their friendship groups, their WhatsApp groups, going out for nights out or whatever, are they really trying to understand women's everyday struggles? And that's why I said, like, I even tweeted, like, not living in someone's shoes and not experiencing their reality and trying to tell them how they must live, how they must react is a very nuts thing. Because I also think that us as humans, we've got this ability to, like, if something doesn't directly affect us, we're quiet. Yeah, so when do you know what I mean? Like when the racist thing happened to me with the son, and I had to call it out, that was something that really affected me. Like, I'm a black male, it hurt me. And then you look at the stuff that went on with George Floyd, the stuff with Harry and Meghan, whatever, the race stuff. We're all black people here, yeah? We feel it every day. There's, you know, we talk about it. But because then I'm not a female, or I'm not disabled, or I'm not gay, it's like I'm not really speaking on those things. And that's what I feel like where the conversation needs to grow, because the victims of it shouldn't be the ones left to deal with it. Like when white people are doing the whole thing of like, well, you guys are black, like what's going on with this racist thing? Like, how do we solve this? It's like, we're the victims here. Like we need the people that are unaffected by it to kind of come to the table. The same way with homophobia, the same way with discrimination.
But I feel like we're doing that by asking the question. Some people genuinely want to understand so that they can help in whatever way they think they can, in being allies or whatever it is. Because if they don't understand it, how can they help? You know what I mean?
Have to have the conversation, 100%.
I like that, but then I think sometimes the learning, you got to go and do the learning. And when I tell you something, don't tell me that it's not real. Is the issue, you know? So like you will say, because I'm interested to hear what it's like for you. You're literally in a male-dominated area of talking about football, on YouTube and stuff. And I like to understand that journey. And do you feel like that sexism or that misogyny, that's just standard? That's what is that what to be expected? Is what I'm trying to say. Because I don't know the journey like of what you go through.
It's always been a standard, and it's always what I expected. Because when I started like creating content around football, it was always written. I never put my face to what I was doing. So I had a written blog because I didn't want people to know, first of all, that I was a woman. Or a black
so you already started. So Ra, that's very. So you already kind of came to the table and said, I just want to put my voice there, or writing. I don't even want to put my face because I feel like I'm at a disadvantage straight away. Yeah.
So honestly, it was literally like whoever knew news. If I'm sharing my articles with friends and family, they know it's from me. But when I'm getting actual feedback from people that I don't know from across the globe, I'm looking at my stats and they're leaving responses, I'm thinking, okay, they like the way I write, they like what I'm saying. okay, women can talk about football. And they would always comment, you know, start a YouTube channel. And I'm thinking, if I start a YouTube channel, then you're going to know that it's me.
Bro, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I did in the end, and I did suffer a lot of sexism. I still do, to be fair. Like, even to this day on like the AFTV watch-alongs, when I look at the comments, it's just like, oh, why is there girls here talking about football? And like, literally, the one the other day is like, black women talk about football. What's that about? Yeah.
It's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And we don't know this, and we kind of take it for. I feel that we need to play our part and speak up, because again, my wife, like, she don't play anyway. You know what I mean? She's one of them like black women that's like, nah, not like you need to understand what's going on. And basically, her main thing that she said is men don't talk for us, and especially she pointed and said black men won't speak. They don't speak up for us. And the way where, again, there's different levels of women are mistreated and women are like at the bottom of the barrel, but then there's a next level to that. And I only talk for the black women in my life, my family, sisters, black women at the bottom of that. And she says that she never gets men that are gonna come out and speak up for it. And a good what's that? There's that person. So we know about George Floyd. Yeah. The other lady that died, the paramedic, you know, still nothing's happening. You know what I mean? And her story kind of it almost shows it in a sense. She's a victim, killed in her own house.
Like,
and it's a woman. No one cares. It's not even a conversation. It's not a conversation, you know. And it just goes to show that she challenged me to say, look, even if your platform is small or wherever you are, you have to speak up. And there needs to be more people speaking up. So it's good to listen to what you're saying. And now when I do see them comments, or when we do see the moments when it's like, oh, that girl don't know ball. Do you know what I mean? And challenging it, because more times you just sit back and like,
100% needs to be shut down.
Yeah,
it needs to be shut down because there's this thing that's like, imagine, I'm just listening to what Pippa said there, and I know that reflects like how many female influencers there are out there, and how many female influencers want to take a step into the uncharted and do what Pippa's done and have the bravery to do what Pippa's done. Like, that's an everyday reality. And for us, KG, it's like saying, imagine that we wanted to start talking about football, and because we're black, let's say, I'm just using an example, we said we don't really want people to see that we're black. So you know what? Let me just write my blog first, just to get a toe in, so that it's just purely football and I can't be judged by anything. Do you understand that? I'm deep in like how that must feel on a daily basis. Like, I can't get away from the color of my skin, the same way that a female can't stop being female, or a black female can't stop being black and a female. Do you know what I mean? So I just see like that's an everyday thing, and like, I think of my DJing times, and like what you see go on in clubs and stuff, and how women are kind of like sexualized and just like there's this thing. It's like, if there's a girl who's got her makeup on, she's got her dress on and that, and she's shacking up to a tune with, then that's just an invitation. Like, oh yeah, I could just approach her. No will in the world does she have a boyfriend. Is she not, doesn't want me to do that? I've seen people do that. Do you know what I'm saying? And that, I just think, and I'm just thinking now, like my mum, little things like you're saying, get home safe, text it. That's normal procedure. But hold on a second. Why is that normal procedure? That's the question. Like, this is women's rally every day.
And you know what? Because on that new one, you see that going to the club, because you know there's obviously the culture of enter a club, you see a girl dancing, and it's a change in your way of thinking, because you do think, oh, right, she's shocking out and rare. Let me just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know what, and obviously the conversation's never had.
Exactly.
We never had the conversation. If a girl's dancing with her friends, the man-dem mindset is, oh, she wants me to come and approach.
Right.
Naturally.
It's wrong. Exactly.
Like, but we've never had that conversation. Like, we've never actually spoken to, even now, I know it sounds weird to ask Pips, like, but what is that though? Like, is it, I don't even know how to approach it in that one. Obviously, I don't have to do it no more, but I'm saying that I don't know the rules of engagement.
They're like these unwritten rules. Let me just say though, throughout my early 20s, from like 18 onwards, I worked at nightclubs, like all the big nightclubs in London. And as a young woman, it was a fun job. I'm getting paid to party basically. And I used to always go to work at first, obviously dressed up, I'm in a nightclub. But it's not a good thing. But towards like a month in, I never started dressing nice, like glam to work, because I felt like everything was over sexualized. And it's like, I can't do my job because you think I'm here for man, when actually I'm just here to get paid and do my work and go home. Where it's like, it's not every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night that I'm looking for a man to go home with. And then there'll be regulars, and they'll always it would always be a step too far, touching you on your neck, all types of things. And it's like, why do you think it's an invitation? Because I'm dressed nice. And because you've seen me regularly, and you think you know me well enough to touch me.
You see what's going on here, KG? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, this is an everyday from opening up your day. Like, I know females who are trying to get into the space, who really want to, who have been through some things in their life that they're really brave. They're doing so well, and they know who they are. I know them. And this is an everyday reality. They'll say, Flex, like in my inbox today, I just casually had someone say, I want to abuse you, or I want to cause harm to you because you're a woman, or can you come around my house? Can you do this? Can you do that? I dare say, Pippa,
I get DMs like that as well.
Like, KG, we don't, as men, we don't get that.
Yeah, no, I don't. And again, like, even the way I position myself in terms of how I've approached YouTube or all this stuff, you see me, I'm very family facing. So I don't really get DMs, or it's like a different life, you know what I mean, to what everyone else is receiving. But when you hear what women are getting, like the DMs that you're getting, Pippa, I'm like, raw, like, it's not like I'm baffled. I shouldn't be shocked, but then it just makes you start to think of when you have been in certain positions, or you've just let things slide, or seen someone that is spoken to someone and just tried to like, yo, like, you know, when you're talking to a woman and you're just you move your hands too much in the conversation, because what makes you think you can do that? And but it's even now, see, it makes me really think to myself, again, the responsibility on us, because this is a conversation that's never had, and we never know. We know what it's said.
I can't speak for all women when I say this, but for me personally, it's like I had to change who I was. So like I said, when I started the job, I'm like 18, I'm getting paid, I'm getting tips, I'm smiling, I'm happy. Good evening, how are you? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. After a while, there's no smiles. It's high. There's no neckline showing, not even a shoulder. I'm wearing a full-on coat out on if I'm out on the door doing the guest list, there's nothing. I'm not trying to look good. Like, I have to change everything. So like, in no way or form can you sexualize me. You can't be like, oh, she smiled at me, so she's interested. Oh, she's interested. It's good evening, £20, whatever it is.
And then Pips, like, just to come in on that, I've seen it go the other way around, where actually now you're making my mind open as we're talking. So you're saying you're being more reserved on purpose because you've been made to feel uncomfortable. Then you're saying you're going to the more, not say stush side, but just, I'm just going to keep it plain and simple. Yeah. But then you get man say, look at this girl, she's rude. Like, I'm going to get, do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, right, hold on a sec. Men, like, what do we expect women to do? Like, how can they win this? It's very nuts what's going on here. It really is. And I just feel like when listening to Pippa saying, and I know you're like being respectful saying you can't speak for all women, but I dare say many women, whether it's at the nightclubs, whether it's at a normal job in an office job, whether it's working in retail, whether it's working in construction, because there's not many women who work there at the council, influencers, this just shows us, KG, like, this is what's really going on with our women. And when I say our women, I mean black women, white women,
all over. Yeah, you know what? I saw something trending and stuff, and a lot of women will experience some level of sexual assault.
97%.
I can't, like, and you think to yourself, and there's different levels. So a lot of times we just play it off as, you know, when you see a man that just will slap a girl's bum and she's just moving, that's an assault, if that makes sense. That's sexual.
Look,
whistling when they're down the street.
Even the way you said it, it's like at one point that was just like some normal thing, like everyone, you can just slap a girl's mum on the road, in the office, like a stranger.
But then you speak to women, you start to say, and sometimes I've gone for the lowest end of it, but sometimes you speak to women and say, you're like your close friends, when you actually sit down with them and say, wait, so what have you ever experienced? Because that's the first time I've actually come out and said, have you ever experienced like a mad situation or tense situation? I say, yeah. And when I'm out, someone might try to put something in my drink. You'll be surprised at people in your community or in your friendship group. that have experience, like someone tried to spike them or this, that, and the other. So you say there's a role. What's that?
I was spiked at work.
Serious?
Yeah. I was about 20 years old.
No way.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. And what there was your girls, like who took you, who got you home, your friends?
Luckily, like, it's such a crazy story, you know, like, story time. This is a crazy story.
Yeah, go for it.
At a club in Mayfair, it was Aura. Definitely.
Oh, Aura, yeah, I've been there. I DJ'd there a couple of times.
All times. And because I'm so used to working at nightclubs, I have this rule where I just don't drink because I'm so used to, like, it's my workplace, even though it's not. So even though this was my day off and I was out for someone's birthday, I literally just had one drink, and I remember it being champagne. And when I tell you, I couldn't see, I was stumbling on the floor to go outside. I was on the ground outside in Mayfair. And luckily for me, I don't know who did it, but someone called my male friends, and they came wherever they were. Imagine it's like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know who made the phone call, but I thank them because I don't know where my female friends were at the time. I think they were still enjoying their night out. Maybe they made the call when they went back inside, but they picked me up off the pavement. I remember, but everything was such a daze. I remember I got robbed. Remember we used to carry cash them times.
Yeah.
Cash from my purse was gone. I still have my BlackBerry, so they didn't take my phone. And luckily, my male friends took me home, like safely. I got home, but I know for a fact that I was drugged because I didn't even finish my glass of champagne.
And imagine that, like, one, how you must have been feeling, and this is for the guys watching this, but two, imagine if you didn't have your male friends there to protect you and to get you home safely. And this is 100%, and this is people's reality. There's going to be people watching this that, you know, might know somebody who's been through something similar, plus worse and stuff like that. And this is why it's got to be spoken about, because that is Pippa's reality there. You know, what I was going to say, Pippa, is like, you got sons. How important is it then for the young boys kind of growing up, and not just young boys, but just men in general? Like, what type of education or what kind of conversations should we be having with them? How do you see it with your own sons?
It's so hard because they're so young, but I feel like you learn these things from young, just to be respectful. Like, I wouldn't expect any male in my family, because the way we've been raised as well, to be fair, you don't know anyone. Sometimes your own family can shock you sometimes, but I don't expect any male in my family to be chauvinistic, to be assaultive. Like, I don't expect it. Like, it's not in their character, and it's just the way we're raised. And we've been raised to respect people, everyone, men and women, no matter your class, where you're from, what you do for a living. You're just respectful. So that plays a big part, because you don't grow up being respectful, and then think one day, oh, I'm just gonna slap a woman's ass on the street. Because my mom definitely raised me to be that type of character, you know. I know that's a small example, but as long as they have respect ingrained in them, that's like the first step.
Is there more that we can, like, even as a community, because obviously we do football content, like all of us here, like, is there more that you reckon could be done on our side, from, even if we're not the ones saying the things, but to how we can make it more inclusive, or how we can make you lot feel differently or more welcome within the space?
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure all of the women in this space get crazy messages, tweets, whatever it is. Call it out. Like I said earlier, like when the man on stage said, like, if you hear your boy say something that ain't correct, call it out. If you don't want to call it out, make sure you speak to him. Have a conversation, say something. Don't just pass it by and think, oh, it's just a comment, innit? Like, that's what men say. No, it shouldn't be what men say.
On a technical one though, let's say, like, I just speak to my boy, but it's not really called out. So that doesn't really support you though?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying, because it might be hard for you. It's important to have the conversation, but it doesn't support the woman if it's done privately.
See, I think do you know what? I kind of see it a bit differently, you know, because I see it as, I get to have the maximum effect. Yeah, you want to do things in public, but KG, say you saw me say something, that I said in public, but you didn't really want to respond to it in public, but you came and had the conversation with me. I think if you have the right conversation and I respond in the correct way, even if we had it in private, I think it can help women, because if you say something to me, like, say you ring me up and say, Flex, man, like, what? Like, I saw you said this thing, or you tweeted this. That was wrong, you know, bro. You need to fix up. Like, you can't be on that. And I go, right, I didn't say it like that. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to come correct. Like, I need to stop that. Even if that wasn't played out in public, the next time, depending on the type of person I am, I have to be a good man to understand that you as a friend is telling me that. But if I have the capacity to listen to what you're saying and change, albeit it's within our phone call, even that is a start, because I think that can help. Because then when I next go to do a show or make a tweet and then, you know, I think I'm more aware of it because my boys called me out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't know if it's, again, not. That's why I'm going to disagree. That's why I'm going to jump off this train and stuff, because again, people keep saying that no, we're not talking. So I can tell my boy on the DL, all right, bro, allow it. But no one's seen that. So again, once again, still unprotected, still not knowing that's wrong. Like certain times you got to use your platform. I got white people that say racism's wrong to me. Bro, do something about your workplace. If you're in recruitment, bring people in that it changes that. Don't just tell me. Because you know what I mean? Like wherever you are, use your voice. You know, when the even with the whole Meghan situation, I was like, and I know my position, bro, and I know like the people or the people that probably engage with my content. And again, I'm jokes. I tell jokes. You know what I mean? And I'm a fun guy. Bombs. You know what I mean? I'm that guy. So you never get my politics. But then the bottom line is I care about certain things, and I can't not pretend now because. So let's say if a woman that's mixed, mixed heritage in Meghan says, you know, she's unprotected, and it's gonna. The funny thing is, people are like, oh wow, because I got into this big back and forth with this guy, and he was like, why are you lot speaking up about this? You never spoke about this. You never spoke about this. But I'm saying you don't really realize how a race situation from somebody else affects me, because we know that's our everyday doubt situation. So we're looking at that, and it's the princess, whatever. But we know exactly, we know what that thing is magnified. So it's gonna get an emotion, it's gonna evoke something, and we're saying, you know what? Here's the hypocrisy in it. There's other royals that are moving more than mad, not even equally mad, to next level. So this is why we're coming out and saying this is wrong and stuff. And we can't be afraid because I know I lost a couple of followers that day. I lost a couple of followers because I spoke. I said something else like, no, mate, I'm here for football. Like, don't do that. But then I can't afford to do that. There's always got to be a time when you have to say, you know what? We have to use our voice. So even if you don't like it, I got to come out. If something happens to Pippa, that someone else does it within our community, I have to come out with my platform and say, bruv, that is wrong.
I do agree. I do agree. Listen, and what my thing on it is, you're actually right. I don't take back what I said, but I do. Now I'm listening to you say that. That's the more impactful thing to happen. I think where I was saying it was more like, I think because it's so bad, I think like even a little change is something. At least it's a start. But I agree though. Yeah. I mean, Pippa, how do you see that? Like in terms of like call it out in public, which I do agree with KG, like, because that gives it the maximum impact to say, you know what, even if you don't like it, unfollow me. Even if you don't like it, cool, it's your issue. Sorry. Versus as a female, you just want to see if it takes the start of it to make a private phone call to start the initial change. Are we just talking about it all here, or do you want to see more than?
It's all about integrity as from the person, because the correct thing to do is call it out publicly. If something's happened publicly and you want to address it, you address it publicly. But that comes with a cost. It comes with, like you said, people not wanting to engage with you anymore, could break friendships because people might not agree with what you're doing or why you're doing it. It's like, why are you talking up? It's not your problem type of thing. But integrity comes at a cost sometimes. So if you feel it's right within yourself, regardless of your job role, regardless if it's going to lose you followers, if you feel like it's right to say, you say it.
Yeah. That's the thing. That I agree. And that's what this is about. Like, things that we can get better at. And I'm not afraid to open myself up on this and be like, yeah, you know what? Like, think about this, because we all got females in our life. Do you know what I'm saying? Important females, significant females in our life. And even if you don't, which most men do, you're around females in some way or another.
You know, we all came from a woman.
100%. We all come from a woman.
I got a daughter, man, and it's scary. Literally, like, I've never been aware of like female issues, bro. Like properly, you know.
What's it like? What's it like as a dad? You've got a young girl kind of girl, and you see this going on.
It's hard, you know. Like there's so many things, and girls are more conscious of themselves way before boys. Like there's little things that my daughter does. My daughter's 4 years old, bro, and I'll never forget it. There was one time she was in the bathroom, like, and she's black, you know what I mean, and she was like trying to pull her hair down, like she was doing that, and I was like, wait, what's she doing? And because she wanted her hair to go down.
Yeah. That's what she sees on the TV, or that's
And then I was like, I didn't realize that my job started so early to tell her that she's beautiful, tell her that she's this, tell her that all these things. I had to, like, you got to implant it from now. But then even now, even what to accept from men is the lesson as well. So obviously how I treat my wife is important, but just the general, like, how are you spoken to, you know? And again, like, I was raised by an African dad, very different. You know what I mean? Whereas militant, my style with my daughter is it's like learning on the job, bro. And I know that she's gonna. The funny thing is, I know, and especially her being a black woman, she's gonna contest with. If she gets a bit upset, she's aggressive. If she gets, these are things that I've never had to think about. They care now. She has to. There's a way she has to present herself. There's so much she has to do, and I have to almost give her the tools. And then when the time is right, speak up. So I need, when you're talking about this, what Pippa said about the drinking thing, I might have to drop my daughter out of the rave.
It's crazy. I do the whole, is so-and-so here? Your dad's outside.
Yeah. You know what the rave, what it do?
Under 18s, yeah.
Yo, your dad's outside. Mid-wine, you know?
Yeah. But we make fun of it, but like you said, where it's coming from is a place that actually is a real thing. It's like, because you know what's going on at these clubs, and look at Pippa's experience there, and we've all, not all, because there's some people who haven't, but I've spent a lot of time all through my 20s, from late teens all the way through to almost now when I started YouTube. I've been DJing that whole time around the country, around the nation, around Europe, and you see it. You see the way that women are treated in the clubs, whether it's like they're a table girl, or they work there, or they show you to your table, or they're hostess. It's like the guys just think, well, right, there you go, Pips. Oh, she's bringing over the sparklers and stuff like that. Like you said, Mayfair aura. The guy's like, yo, I got my money, I got this. I'm entitled. This sense of entitlement. Like, no, like it stinks. It stinks, bro. And I just think the biggest thing here is, I get it. Like, I think when points are tried to be made on social media, especially Twitter is
the worst place. Yeah.
It is the worst place, because you can't articulate your tone, how you're saying something. People just take it what they say, and then they're gone with it. And they just don't think of context or anything. It's like you can't share your views without being attacked. So it makes some people just shut down, or people go over the top. But I feel the real key in this is for men to understand that we're not the victims in this. Like, we're not the victims in this. Like, we're just not. Like, forget the things that go over the top. Because on social media, when you're seeing some women say, because all men are, obviously you need to have enough sense to say, look, that's not the general consensus here. Leave the hysteria to one side. This is social media gas. I mean, this is what it really is. Being able to come and talk like this and understand that deep down, if it's your mum, your sister, your loved one, your soulmate, your friend, your auntie, your cousin, whatever, your goddaughter, your daughter, she's probably going to feel most of what's going on. Do you know? And we're not the victims here, and we have to open our eyes to that.
And it's hard to protect from that, because even all the stuff we're saying, you can't always be there. You know what I mean? So
exactly,
that's the hardest part. Because as you lot talking, I'm like, raw, like,
you're deep in it.
I'm sitting there like, I don't even know, but I always think of this though. Go on, bro.
Before I touch on what you said, Fletcher, I want to go back to what you said, KG, about your daughter. I've got a friend. He's got a little 4-year-old, but she's of mixed heritage. Like, her mum's white, he's black. And when I went to their house a little while ago, she, like an average 4-year-old girl, let's say, she's in love with like princesses and stuff. And he always calls his daughter a princess. And one time I was at her house, she's really getting upset. She goes, "Oh, I'm not a princess." I'm like, "Yeah, you're a princess." She's like, "I'm not a princess because my hair I don't have princess hair." I don't have princess hair. I was like, "What's princess hair?" And then she went to collect all her dollies. She's like, "This is princess hair." She's got like a curly, cute afro. She's like, "I'm not a princess." And I'm like, this is what 3-4-year-olds, I think she was 3 at the time.
Wow.
I was like, this is what 3-year-olds are saying.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me.
It's mad, and girls are they develop so quickly, and like just women in general. I just sometimes look at them like, wow, like how are you thinking like that?
Fascinating.
Like,
it's like they're a step ahead of everything. They're more in tune with themselves, their feelings, their thoughts.
Looked at the dolls and said, I'm not this. Do you know what I mean? Like these are the things, and this is when people, again, when we go back to race and all these other things that come up, and women, it's like there's a reason. So people are just not upset for no reason. Like Pippa, you knew before you even stepped into this game, you said, I'm just gonna write my opinion because no one's ready to see my face. So you're almost conditioned into a way of thinking and conditioned into acceptance. So that's why I think the response from us as men, and just whoever has a voice, whoever has a platform, to be a bit more radical and say, you know what I mean? Say, nah, that's not on. Nah, challenge it. You know what I mean? And today is a lesson for me. People are going to watch this video today and say, I don't like it. You lot stick to comedy or stick to thingy, or people will say, wondering. Oh, I know the types of comments that because again, anytime you say truth, someone will tell you, nah, I don't like that. It's like, no, just listen. And if you care, and if you are supportive, and if you are a good person that you believe you are, try and affect change in your area. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Don't people that you know.
Yeah, try and affect wherever you have power. Change that. You know what I mean? Like change the whole concept of. And obviously, there's so many things wrong, but this is a prime how women are looked at, and it's again even in sport, bro. Look at the earnings that they did on the BBC, and then the lowest earners, all the women. You know what I mean? And this
is what we're saying. It's not even just. It's bigger than when women are walking home, they're feeling unsafe. That's one thing, but then they're held back within the workplace. They're held back maybe in relationships. They're held back in public. They're held back just all the time. And I just think guys just need to get better at like not saying like, oh, it's not me doing it.
Yeah,
it's not me. That's cool. That's good. Most guys are not doing it. Yeah, we understand that. Just like, well, I don't want to say most people aren't racist, but that's a whole different argument. But I mean, a lot of the people I know who are white aren't racist to me. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking to them and it's fine. And when we talk about racism, we're not trying to tarnish every single white person and say it applies to you. So the people who are mistreating women and speaking up in this way, it applies to you. And I just think that if you are someone who does right by women, fantastic, but also help others to do it. I think that's what this is here. And my cousin reached out to me, right? And she said, and it was weird because I was taking it all in and I actually forgot this because she lives in Ashford in Kent where this all went down. Yeah. And while it was unraveling, I didn't even think. And she messaged me and I saw some stuff she was putting up and I was like, shit, my cousin, she actually like that's round the corner from her house. And she was just saying to me like, thank you for like putting things up on your social media. I've seen it. Like, can you keep doing it? She goes, can I send you stuff? Like, even if it changes one man's perspective. And I was like, how must she feel? Like there's the woods around the corner from her house, you know, she walks around that area, could have been her, you know. So for other women who live far from there, they've been jogging with people with their parents, so they're out jogging and they get whistled at. Even the positives, this is another thing I want men to understand. Even if like you think you're doing the compliment thing, so say like there's a woman jogging and a man goes, yo, look at you, you know, like, do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. It might come from a pure intention, but you have to understand that whole stereotypical building site thing when a woman's walking past and they whistle, you're just objectifying them. Like you just, you know what I mean? Like if you don't have that relationship to do that to them, to say, you look, do you know what I mean? I get it. We don't want to take out just being nice. Like this, it's nice to be nice to people. It's nice to smile at someone if your eyes cross path or, hi, how you doing? Morning or whatever. We're not saying don't do that. But I think when you want to, it's that sense of entitlement that you can kind of just whistle and kind of
say that you're like not buff. Like, I don't know the rules, cuz you know. I practice knock. I'm like, you can still say, yo, bro, you're buff, you know, but you can't actually. I don't know, like that's too old school. That's like, I don't think people.
But then, then that's a question. That's the question there, Pips, for you, as in your opinion. where does the line lie? Because this is about education. This is what we want to talk about.
I feel like I'm saying this, but I feel like I'm the worst person to ask because I get so much social anxiety, like being out by myself.
Yeah.
So if I'm going for a jog, like I'm literally in this bubble. Like I'm running in this bubble. I'm only aware of the path that I'm going and how my route. I'm not aware of anyone else. So the moment someone hollers at me, my bubble's being burst. I don't feel protected. But that's just me because
Yeah.
That's good to know, though.
But you see that, though, KG. But this is what I mean. Out of the respect of, you don't know what their story is. You don't know the person that we're doing it. And I'm not saying I do it, but I'm saying when men do that, it can sometimes it's coming from a complete derogatory kind of I just think I'm the man, I can do it. But sometimes, like you say, it's just nice to be nice. If you see someone looking in shape and they're going, right, look at you doing your thing. But then listen to literally what Pippa just said. It's like, if Pippa was running past, we don't know her story. We don't know if she suffers with anxiety. We don't know if she's been through stuff in her past that could be a trigger for her. So actually, it's probably safer for me to not do that.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? I just think we got to get better at contemplating that, at least having a think to ourselves rather than just coming out with it and the damage is done.
It's different for everyone. I don't majority of women like being disturbed while they're on a run or something. But if there's already some type of, like say you've read, if there's some, like I'm running, I haven't even seen you. Why are you disturbing me? Do you know what I mean? Like, if there's some type of engagement already, you can don't just like a car's driving, you jump out like, hey, like why are you jumping from my car for? Like trying to get run over? Like,
that's big up, Pip. That's a sick. There you go, KG. You're laughing, KG, because you can see the example.
That is so real. Because
someone like that.
You think to yourself, and the funny thing is, because I just go back into times, and I know this. I've seen this journey. I've seen this thing happen. So you say to yourself, certain times when you're in that decision making, you're like, I'm gonna make her day better. Yo, babes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you don't know that. You don't know what you're doing again. So, because sometimes it almost not like innocent, because sometimes there is the innocence and there's people that do it with no innocence. There's no safe way to like just allow it unless there's been engagement. She's giving you something to say, holla.
There you go.
That's when you make the thing, and that's the understanding is what I'm coming from. Because sometimes you think if I shout this, that might make her day still. That's the thing.
Because it's coming from a pure place. I hear you. It's coming from a pure place. But when you just listen to literally, we've just heard one example that Pippa's basically saying that when I run, I'm in my zone. I'm kind of anxious when I'm out anyway. And if someone that I haven't made eye contact with, just from behind me back there or the left, go whistles.
But everyone's different. Some people love a good word of affirmation. That literally could make someone's day. I can't speak for everyone. Like,
of course.
I have a friend that loves compliments. Like, if she was running someone from a distance, like let's say across the road, said, "Oh, you look good." Maybe she would like that, but for me, I can't.
And I just think with that, the disparity's a bit blurred. You're just not sure. For me, I just wouldn't do it because I just feel like I don't know the story behind it. It's the same way as someone come up to you in conversation or said something to you that just struck your nerve because of your past experiences, what you've been through. You're gonna find that tough.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll give you a past experience. There was a time I was living at my mum's still years ago, and I was walking home. I was pregnant, and it was still like it wasn't dark or anything. Let's say it was like 7 p.m. and I'm walking home, and you don't really feel like someone's following you, but where it's like a main road, I'm thinking, it's probably not. But I've turned into my mum's road, and I'm thinking, surely he can't be coming down here. Haven't seen him before. Cool. He's still behind me. He's getting closer, and I'm thinking, but me, I'm ready to punch you up. I can't lie. Honestly, I'm like, so as he's getting closer, I'm thinking, I'm not going to run because I'm pregnant, but then I'm not going to fight. But me just being me, I turned around. I was like, what do you want?
Well, you confronted him.
Yeah. Because why are you creeping up on me? I said, this guy said, what do you mean? And he just flashed himself, basically. He literally, and I was there, because at this point, I'm right outside my mum's house. And I didn't want to see him to see me go into my house. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, he knows where you live.
I felt like I didn't know what to do, so I just confronted him, like, what do you want? Like, I don't want to be a victim and run. Like, but then again, I could become a victim by confronting you because anything can happen.
Yeah.
But I just confronted him. He flashed himself. I think I might have said something mad, like, I will fuck you up. Like,
of
just
course.
walked away. But I was thinking, what was you intending on doing if I didn't confront you? Like, what was you trying to do?
But then you in that thing they said, you know, it's like when someone's following you and da. No, do you know what I mean? That's that's the deep part about it.
It's a big statement, KG. You
No,
don't know what it's like.
I don't
Yeah.
know what it's like. I don't know what it's like of that feeling. And again, like, so you've had more than one occasion of being in that situation where you're out worrying, and then you think, I've got to do this. And again, is that I've got to protect myself in this way. Even the decision to say, you know what, I can't even let you know I live here.
Yeah, like I don't.
Yeah, you know,
What's your interest in me? Like, why are you following me? Like, what's your actual aim here?
And then to take it a step further, and indecent. That's it again.
Yeah.
That's
I couldn't believe it.
Indecent. What's that? Indecent
exposure. Yeah.
Yes, it's a sexualized crime. You know, when you say to yourself that things like that makes no sense. You know what I mean? But I know it's real. I know these things happen. It's bro.
I don't know what was going through my head, but I was ready to fight. And that was the worst possible. I don't know why. Because
fight or flight, isn't it? It's either you run away or you confront them. It's fight or flight. That's
but
that's what it is.
I think any other situation, especially where I'm young, like I as a young woman, I didn't give a damn in it. But 4 months or 5 months pregnant, I think that was the dumbest thing, because it could have gone left. But
for real. But I think, but that's again, that's your reality of, like, in that moment, like how can we judge the right thing to do? Because it's like you felt threatened, and like I'm saying, it's literally fight or flight. It's literally I try to just go undercover here so nothing happens, or I just confront it. Like,
but what's upsetting though is obviously, London? What's that? North London. Do you up in North London as well?
Everyone assumes that, innit? Because of Arsenal. Everyone assumes that.
I bet she's South London.
Ew, don't disrespect.
Oh, good. Across the water. Yeah, don't be like that.
South London people.
Where what East?
I'm from East London, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. My decision, but it's cool. Fine, I can't even say anything. Damn it. But you know, certain times you grow up in certain areas, you get this thing of, I can defend myself.
Yeah, that was me.
You can, but however, not every woman can turn around and say, yo, I can actually defend myself in this situation. You know, because you get someone that's probably mad dainty and can't do a thing, you know, and she's stuck in fish. You can't even turn around and confront. He probably that you turn around and stuff. So
especially if they've been through something in the past that may have led them to be in that way.
Yes. Again, man, I implore, like, the man them listening, just people in general, like, I think it's time that we become aware. That's my thing. Time to become aware of, again, you have a mum, you have an auntie, and if you have a woman in your life, whatever, like, you owe it to them, because one day they're going to be in a situation where someone else is treating them in this way. And you want to see it. So I think for us, again, we ask the questions, because even talking to Pippa now, I need to talk to my wife and see if she's ever had a mad one, like, because I've never asked these questions.
There you go.
And then on the flip side is being there and always willing to speak up in that thing. Integrity, I know you mentioned it before, it's key. Like, it's not about what you're gonna lose, because you can gain everything and lose it all. Is how I see things. So it's like, speak up when it's time. Speak up when it's time. Don't be afraid. Like, and that's a better way to live your life. That's how I feel. I feel more people need to do that, and then we will change, dramatic change.
For real. Pippa, to like take us out. Yeah, what are you saying with kind of go for it.
There's one more thing I wanted to say, because
let's go.
Like, being open now. Like, I can't speak to all men, obviously, but there's certain situations where you feel like men should leave women alone. When you're in a situation and you know they should leave women alone, just do it. Because I was in another situation. I went on a few dates with a guy, and I didn't want it to go further. I didn't want to date him anymore. But he didn't take that well, and he ended up turning up at my son's nursery, turning up to my workplace, luckily on days that I wasn't there, sending me abusive text messages, constantly ring. Like, I didn't even know your phone could ring that many times. I didn't know you could get like 76 missed calls or some nonsense. Like harassment, following me home from work. I remember one time he was just there. That's the real reason I have social anxiety. I don't like walking anywhere.
See that? Your past experiences have led you to 100%.
Like, even if I'm going 5 minutes down the road, I'm jumping in my car. Certain friends that, like, new friends that weren't there like 12 years ago, would say, why are you driving? Like, just walk. And I'm like, not really on the walking thing, you know. But it wasn't just that. It put so much fear into me, because I think 2 years prior to that, there was this big story that was quite local to me, another side of East London, Hackney, where a guy was in a relationship. It was different because he was in a relationship, but he was in a relationship with a girl. The girl didn't want to be with him anymore. And it was the same thing. Like when I read the news article, it's the same thing, like turn up to her workplace, like following her here, following her there. Next thing you know, the girl's dead. He's murdered her. So all I kept thinking was, right, is this guy gonna, I used to think, am I being extreme? But I'm thinking, I don't know you like that. Why are you?
Yeah, 100%.
Why are you coming here? And I used to think, right, is this guy gonna kill me because I don't want to date him? Do I have to like give in and say, oh, how are you? Like, I don't want to. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes just leave women alone.
Yeah.
All the time. I always leave them alone. Just leave them alone.
Yeah, man. And talk to your, and that, to see that, because had he had his boy, see the situation that you had, had he had one of his boys, and you're open with your boys. So I think talking to your boys and communicating with how you're moving with people, like talk to your man them, because you might not move like that. But let's say one of his boys said, yeah, like I've been pulling up on my girl's nursery, like, and I'm trying to win her back, bro. Like I'm like,
yeah,
like, bro,
don't do that. Like, what do you do?
You know what I mean? So again, the dialogue is so important, and still calling it out, because I could imagine if his friends knew what he was doing, they'd say, "Raw, you're moving all the way mad."
Yeah,
you know, and that's had a direct effect on you. You know what I mean? So, Flex, what are you saying? What's your?
Yeah, I just like, I think this conversation has just highlighted like the importance of actually doing this, and I hope that like I said, you can see on who watches your YouTube channel or whatever that 96% are males and stuff like that. Guys, if you're watching this, yeah, and you're still watching at this point, big up as well. But also share this. Go have a conversation with your missus, your mum, your daughters, and more importantly, your boys that are around you, your sons, your uncles, your dads, whoever it is, your friends. Have the conversation. Don't get stuck into this ignorance of saying, well, I do enough. It can't be talk about me. Because that I think is what leads to not everybody caring about the same thing. If this was racism, if there's black guys watching this was racism, the same way we want everyone to be attentive with their ears and eyes and vocal, this is the same thing. This is the same thing. I think we do naturally as humans pick our battles, and don't get me wrong, it can get tiring. Of course, I'm not saying everyone needs to be a hero here. I'm not saying everyone needs to be like Dr. Shola and you know be the activist and be at the forefront doing this every single day. And that's not what women are asking for. They're just asking for a little bit of understanding, however small, however big, with whether it's like we spoke about in public, which is more powerful. But like I'm saying, even if it is in private to start with, if you're not sure, just do it. That's all we're asking for here, because I get it. There's so many battles to fight out there. Like it can become draining. It can. Like me talking about racism all the time, it's draining. But then when somebody who isn't experiencing that, they don't know how it feels. Like it's draining to be black every day, just like it's draining to be a woman and experiencing this every day. It's draining if you're gay and suffering from homophobia every day. It's if you're in a wheelchair. How draining is that, being held back every day for opportunities? If you're deaf and you need an interpreter, but you can't get one, like how draining is that? So sometimes just take your shoes off and put someone else's on, just for 5 minutes, just for 5 minutes. That's what I've learned from this. Because even listening to some of Pippa's stories there, again, it's like you're surprised, but then you're not surprised, but then you're deep in what's really going on. Do you know what I mean? And I just want to say, Pippa, thanks for like sharing, like, you know what I mean, what you've shared with us, because like even hearing back to actually with what we do with the football stuff, hearing you say that, I didn't know that. I didn't even think that could have been a thing for you, because you're so confident with, like how good you are on AFTV.
Never get anxiety. Like, I see her and I'm like, that girl, she knows everything she's doing. She's just like, she's doing the whole show, bro. Like Robbie just gives her the mic and she just holds the thing, bro.
Honestly, there was a period where I didn't go to games for I think over a year. During that period where, let's call him the stalker, I didn't leave my house. I didn't even go to games and that. I didn't do content because I didn't want little clues to be given away to where I am. Like, do you know what I mean? And people always ask, how come you just didn't do content? Obviously, I don't ever tell them the real story. I just say, just wasn't feeling it, or wanted to take a break. But I just didn't want to be seen, because I didn't want to give any clues as to where I was. Like, because obviously, if you know me, it's like, I know where to find her. I should be at the Emirates. So I never.
Yeah, exactly. You're putting yourself into a really vulnerable spot. Doing what we do as content creators at football matches, you're just vulnerable. And then you're doubly vulnerable if you're a female. It's just a fact. Like, and Pippa, just on that, like, to women who are watching this, who are thinking about maybe getting into content, or even if they want to just make changes in their life, to just be brave, not even just come into this space, like, because you've managed to do it and proved that you can be brave and you can step out the other side. What advice would you say to them, or what were some of the turning points that you had that made you go, you know what, nah, I need to go and do this?
I'm so bad at giving advice.
Nah, well, just speak your truth then. Like, I don't want you to preach, but just, okay, what was the turning point for you? What made you go, you know what, I can be brave. I can not have to live like this anymore.
If I'm honest with you, and I'm someone that doesn't really look for what's the word? I've forgotten the word. Not confirmation, but like validation from men or people in general. But having really strong male allies that would back me for because obviously I felt really insecure during that part of my life. So knowing I had really strong allies like Robbie and whoever else around me, even my dad as well, it just gave me the confidence to just do what I wanted to do, because no matter what, I've got some type of safety blanket to fall back on, because I know that these men in my life will lift me back up and let me know that I'm good at what I'm doing, and just have some security in yourself, even though it's a cold world out here. We just got to just push on.
Yeah.
I love that. Because you know what that's saying, KG? That's saying that men have more power or more say in this than we think.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if we make this our problem as well, we can actually like pick women up and say, you know what, you can go and do this. Yeah. Whether, do you know what I mean? Like, that's a big eye opener for me, man. There's people out there that I know, women that I know that, you know what I mean, who look to us like that, and I want them to know that I'm there for that too, for sure. And we need to get better at doing this. What are you saying, KG?
Yeah, man. Again, with what I've learned with the hair thing with my daughter and stuff, bro, when I drop her at school every morning, I whisper in her ear, I'm like, babes, you're confident, you're smart, you're beautiful, you can do anything. And now she's getting to the point where she's starting to say it. Do you know what I mean? But I can see it like that. Do you know what I mean? It just goes in there. It's like, and it's just us. Just whisper it. Do you know what I mean? But again, that's gonna, when Pippa's speaking, the two people that spoke about, these are men, you know what I mean, that I can help. And some women might not have men in their life and stuff, but you be that person in their life, then you be the positive person. So yeah, I've learned so much from you. Thank you, Pippa. Yeah,
big up Pippa for coming on. It's not always easy, man, but I like we said, we make that assumption that Pippa's on AFTV, man. So, you know, we don't know the struggles, we don't know what goes on behind that, and know the everyday struggles. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, man. And I hope that people are watching this, you share it, and just take it in. If you think something negative from it, then we're not sorry. Like, guys, if you do you know what I'm saying? We don't give a shit. Like, if there's guys, man, if you're watching this saying, nah, Flex, man, you letting the girls go, I don't give a shit. I don't care. It's time to talk up the things, and if you don't want to be part of it, then that's up to you. You're getting left behind, because there's a lot of guys out here who want to do right and make a change. So big up, man. I don't even need to do all that, smash a like, subscribe, all that. It's not about that, but just share. That's all I would ask you lot to do, is share. And we're out of it, man. We're going to do a lot more of this stuff when things need speaking about. We ain't afraid to speak about it right here on the Flex. So we are out of it. And just quickly, Pippa, actually, on a football thing.
Oh, God.
Are you gonna get Europe, or like, what's going on?
No, we can't laugh, bro. We're in a serious situation.
Yeah.
What, we can finish lower than 6th?
No, not. I'm talking about
Europa.
Europa right now is peak in our situation.
Like, didn't Dan James miss a sitter?
Yeah, all right, Pips. All right.
You wanted
hey, Pippa, this is not a football channel, yeah?
You wanted to take it there.
Wait, yeah. See, I was just defending you, Pippa, yeah, but then you done a madness. This is what I'm saying. Like, you know, I'm not saying nothing about football.
I'm honest with you, I don't think we'll make Europe. I'll be so pleased if we win the Europa League, but we're definitely not climbing up the Premier League table. And obviously, the league's the only way. And we're at an advantage now to get through to the next round, because we're 3-1 away. But
what are you saying about the derby?
For some reason, I'm confident, which is weird, because the last 2-3 years I haven't been confident in North London derby.
Yeah,
but I'm quietly confident.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. I want you lot to lose so bad. You know what it is? Just so you lot experience. You know how you lot rate? Like, there's a lot of Arsenal fans around in the world here that just rate Man City, and I think it's out of spite to us. They just like, look, you're not the best team in your area. So I just want you lot to feel
Oh, do you know what it is? Obviously, I've been Old Trafford. I've been Etihad. Like Old Trafford's amazing. Like you've got mad history. Man City's different.
This is what I'm saying.
No, it's because they pump everyone though. It's because you go there knowing like, right, you're probably gonna get.
I
beat
want
up.
everyone to feel that. So when you go to like, I've been to North London and that new Tottenham Stadium.
It's nice. I can't lie. I've actually been there and watched the game. It's actually nice. I can't lie.
It is. But there you go. Listen, guys, thanks for watching. Share up, do all that good stuff. And we're out of here, guys. Peace.
I didn't drop one bomb.
Good.